Hey, everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. The starters now on offense, and Stephon Diggs, our first chance to see him today.
Brandon, remember we had this conversation about how highly recruited he was in high school. Didn't quite live up to it in college due to some injuries, but boy, has he hit the NFL like a bomb. Stephon Diggs, a crafty, mature route runner who can go the distance.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw, and that's incomplete. Giovanni Bernard, the intended receiver, out of the backfield, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, as he can really impact this offense. Got him in. He finds Sanders. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Kevin King coming up from the secondary to make the play.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
They come up now, 3rd and 5, following the incomplete pass. They'll set up a throw. He drops it off for Bernard. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
In his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. He got 29 yards that time.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Rodgers now to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He's got it. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. A great effort there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Packers have taken the early lead. And he's able to put it through. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Now McKinnon. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Muhammad Wilkerson elevated a Temple program that was looking for players like him, and he's carried that on into the NFL. What a terrific play there.
Yeah, a nice tackle for loss for the former Temple Owl, as you said, and the 30th pick in the 2011 draft. On third down, he'll drop to throw. On the screen, Bernard. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 17, and it'll give him a first down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Now a carry for Bernard. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I'm being given much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Here's McKinnon, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The run hasn't worked the last couple of plays. Now it's 3rd and 14.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
He'll look to throw. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he gets it down to the 32. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. He'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 47. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now it's Ajayi. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
So 3rd and 2, this quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Shotgun now for Rodgers. They dump off underneath to Ajayi. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a 1st down. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
Yeah, 300. Yeah, 300.
Into the red zone. It's Rodgers. Throw left side, taken in by Galladay. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
Here's Ajayi. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
158.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. Just, I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game. And it can be if that pass is completed. Because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through it. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
Underneath, this is Bernard. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down. Now, they couldn't get anything going there out on the right side of the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Rodgers to throw on second down. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Rodgers now on first down. Open man is Galladay, complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Throwing now is Rodgers. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. On first down, Rodgers. Flushed out right. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
On second down, here's Rodgers. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
The first down line at the 34 here on third down.
319! 319!
Working from the gun, Rodgers. He's got Adams on the hookup. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there, a 22.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Touchdown, Packers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
And oh, it's blocked. And thankfully, the offense able to recover, but the extra point attempt foiled. Elliott now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. So we've come to halftime. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
319!
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They run with Ajayi. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So after the run by Jay Ajayi, here's 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Hunter Henry brings it in. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
That's fine. Yeah. Inside.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And this belongs to the Vikings.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me, because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. They lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now let's go. 319. 319.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. A gain of 11 and a first down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Lets it fly. He's got it at the 15. And he's going to get this down inside of Green Bay's 15-yard line. They give him a gain of 38. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
All right, here we go. Blue line it. Blue line it.
They run once more with McKinnon. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Jarek McKinnon, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have made this now a 1-score game. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. A chance for us now to discuss Jay Ajayi. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Could do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play caller.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And now out comes Minnesota. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And they work this well upfield across the 45. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Left side here to Sanders. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there at 22. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
Green 39.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shaquille Barrett in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Back to throw here. Wide open receiver complete. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And this is going to be Packer football.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick six. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And they have taken the lead here in this 4th quarter. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And following the pick six, and they had decent field position and throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
They told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest. Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. 2nd and 10 now from the 27. Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Rodgers now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And now he'll tuck it and run. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. And that one results in 35 yards.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Jay Ajayi with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Packers have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
So here we go. The Packers will line up to go for 2.
319.
Shotgun now for Rodgers.
It's interesting that when it comes to two-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard lines.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll toss it to Ajayi. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
319.
Rodgers now looking to throw on 2nd down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw, trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he showcases the spin. A pretty good gain before he's taken down. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It will be a 51-yard attempt. And the kick by Elliott is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. And the interception that ended their previous drive, that might be one we look back on and say that was the turning point of this game.
Hey, partner, guess what? There's still time for a few more turning points in this ball game. They're only one score down.
Yeah, true. I mean, we could have some twists and turns. Stay tuned. He drops it off for Bernard. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. It's a gain of 7, and that'll make it a second down. First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown of the two-point conversion. Field goals aren't going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started. Nice gain, get some positive momentum going. They're on their way, and they don't have to rush.
Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. Third down now.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
He'll look to throw. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They're going to look to throw. Sanders has it over the middle. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. First down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. Left side caught by Diggs. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. They'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
He's back to throw. It's complete to Diggs. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. Back to throw. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. He'll look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Snags it for the pick. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, they needed the touchdown and the two-point conversion, but they're not going to get a shot at either. This is a great play here defensively, Brandon, and at a time that they sorely needed one. And that could be enough to help get them out of here with a victory.
Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the fourth. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. He's got it up to the 15. Showed off some fancy footwork there on the play. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as he'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Here's where this crowd can really help make things difficult. It's 3rd and 3.
319. Wide left.
On 3rd down. That's Higgins. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. Right back to him on 1st down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 14 there, and that should be enough to get him home free.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction.